carried. Item 11, the land exchange taniwha, and I noted in the file that it's part of the objectives for the local board plan 2023 and 5. So I'm just going to get, tēnā kōrua, ladies. Can you please introduce yourselves, and then I will move and I'll just seek a seconder, and Councillor Simpson will second it and put on the table for discussion. So if you just introduce yourselves, please, to everybody, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, councillors. My name is Carole Canler. I'm the Senior Policy Manager for Community Investment.
Good afternoon, councillors. I'm Holly Meese, Policy Advisor in the Community Investment Team of Community and Social Policy.
So look, have you got any comments to make? And if not, we'll go through to the questions first and then comments. Holly.
We're happy to take the report as read. If you have any comments or questions, we're happy to take those.
Thank you, Holly. Look, I'll open for Pātai first. Are there any questions? No, there's none. So there's any comments? Oh, sorry. So if is this question or comments? I just wanted to make sure.
Just a question, Chair.
Oh yeah, questions.
Good, thank you, Chair. Just on when we do these sorts of land exchanges, are there requirements around, you know, the number of mature trees and things to try and balance up the ecology? I know there's obviously housing outcomes here, and the local board is supportive of the direction, but are there other things we can put in to ensure we keep those ecological corridors and things like that, or is that a later stage?
So you, Mr. Chair. So when we look at a land exchange, there's two parts. There's a disposal of a piece of land that Auckland Council owns, and we do a disposal assessment. So we look at any ecological value that the land may hold. If there is ecological value, we will not recommend the land to be disposed of. In that case, there's no such consideration. And then there's a land that we acquire. And then the local body is responsible for the development of that new piece of land. So they may choose planting and any other development. Hope that answers your questions.
Thank you very much.
If there's no further questions, just want to say, oh, sorry, Councillor Coombe.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Chair. It was more kind of a request, I guess. So I just wondered if maybe I could throw it in now rather than as a comment on it, because I'm happy to support this.
Throw it.
But just when we heard from our local boards yesterday, one of the things, the strong themes was around concern around growth and the lack of planning around growth to meet community needs. And I'm presuming that this is actually a good outcome and is contributing to more open space, more accessibility to open space, but we're probably not very good at communicating that. And I think there's a real perception that we're just enabling all of this growth and not actually doing any of the work that's needed to go alongside that. So my request is just, is this an opportunity to really publicise, you know, a good outcome and something that's supporting a community that's experiencing a lot of intensification?
Yes, and this is why we've got Claire at the back to at least have a look at it and to see how that can be communicated. The more the merrier. So yeah, it is. So
great, thanks. I mean, I think it's kind of like the package of communication, not just like this one example, but it's kind of to say we are doing, you know, there's a whole lot happening to actually ensure that we have, community has the open space they need.
Yeah, no, look, Claudia's acknowledged, same with Maureen and Claire. Again, to you ladies, thank you so much. Are there any comments before I put the recommendation? I will go with ladies first, Councillor Simpson, and then Councillor Hills.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'm sorry Joe's not here. Sorry, Councillor Bartley's not here, because this, I think, is something that she would have seconded it in my place. But as her neighbour, for want of a better word, I feel very happy to do that. Look, this is something that has been assessed on our open space policy, and it's deemed to be a high priority. The Tamaki Regeneration Project is a huge development in the area. Sure, we lose approximately just under 3,000 square metres of council land, but we receive a lot more than we lose. So we actually get 7,693 square metres of open space. Not only do we get more open space than we dispose of, but it actually improves access and the functionality of two big reserves in the area, Maybury and Taniwha. So we need those reserves for the residents that will live in this area, and I strongly request support for those around the table. Thank you.
Yeah, Gilda. Councillor Hills.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just echoing both of what Councillor Simpson and Councillor Coombe says, is that I was asking about specifically trees, but in general, this is a 300% increase in open space in this area. So that is a pretty big deal. You get all that intensification and good, warm, dry housing for people, but you also get a 300% increase in the open space in that community. But I do agree with Councillor Coombe that we aren't very good at telling the story. We often end up in a defensive position after the fact if we get a complaint, but we actually don't tell, the significant open space we're purchasing. Even so, this is a land swap, not a purchase per se. But over the years, we haven't been that good at showing what we are doing, and we get stuck in the small portions of non-service land that we sell that isn't being used when there's great things like this that are coming to us in our communities. So thank you.
No, thank you to you both, and it was interesting having a corridor with Chris, the chair, Chris, the deputy chair now, yesterday, so very supportive. So look, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. Thank you again, ladies.